Have you ever wondered what your ancestors were actually afraid of in the dark? Not monsters, not myths, something with teeth. For most of human history, we weren't the top of the food chain. We were prey. And for a very long time, scientists have been trying to answer a deceptively simple question. Which animal killed more early humans than any other? The answer isn't what most people expect. Picture East Africa, roughly 2 million years ago. A small band of early hominins moves across open grassland at dusk, the worst possible time to be exposed. They're barely 4 feet tall, no claws, no fangs, no fur thick enough to matter, and all around them in the tall grass, something is watching. For decades, paleoanthropologists have pulled fossils out of caves in South Africa riddled with strange punctures. At first, researchers assumed early humans died from falls, disease, or violence between groups. But then, someone noticed something odd. The puncture wounds in the skulls matched perfectly with the spacing of a leopard's canine teeth. That discovery changed everything, and the famous Taung Child, one of the earliest hominin fossils ever found, wasn't just an ancient ancestor. It was evidence of a kill. Talon marks on the eye socket suggest this young hominin was snatched, carried into a tree, and eaten by a large bird of prey, likely an eagle. Not a myth, not a guess. A crime scene almost 3 million years old. So why does this matter? Because it forces us to rethink what shaped human evolution. We often imagine our ancestors as hunters, but for an enormous stretch of prehistory, we were something closer to the opposite. We were meals. Leopards alone are believed to have killed early hominins with disturbing regularity. Unlike lions, leopards are ambush predators. They don't chase, they wait, hidden in branches or thick brush, and strike before their prey ever senses danger. For a small, slow-moving hominin without weapons, that made leopards one of the most consistent threats in the entire ecosystem. But leopards had company. Hyenas, crocodiles, and large cats collectively pursued early humans for millions of years. Crocodile bite marks have been found on hominin bones near ancient rivers and lake shores, the exact places our ancestors needed to visit daily for water. Danger wasn't an occasional event. It was baked into everyday survival, and this raises an unsettling question. If predators were killing early humans so often, how did we survive at all? The answer may lie in something even stranger than teeth and claws. Some researchers argue our fear of snakes isn't a modern anxiety, it's ancient hardware. A theory known as the snake detection hypothesis suggests that snakes, not big cats, were actually one of the most powerful evolutionary pressures shaping primate vision itself. The idea is that early primates who could spot a camouflage snake half a second faster than others were far more likely to survive long enough to reproduce. Over millions of years, that split-second advantage may have shaped the very structure of our eyes and brains, tuning us to detect curved shapes, sudden movement, and patterned skin faster than almost anything else in nature. In other words, your fear of snakes might not be irrational. It might be one of the oldest survival programs still running in your brain, but here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. If we zoom out from deep prehistory into the last few thousand years of human history, the deadliest animal changes completely. It isn't a leopard, it isn't a crocodile, it isn't even a snake. It's something almost too small to see. Mosquitoes, through the diseases they transmit, particularly malaria, are believed to have killed more humans throughout history than any other animal combined. Some researchers estimate that malaria alone may have contributed to the deaths of nearly half of all humans who have ever lived. Not through claws, not through venom, through a single bite and a parasite riding along in the saliva. That means the true deadliest animal in human history depends entirely on which humans you're asking about. Early hominins in the Pleistocene were far more likely to be dragged from a tree by a leopard or seized near a riverbank by a crocodile. But once humans began forming dense communities, farming near stagnant water, and living closer together, the threat shifted from claws to something microscopic. The very same rivers our ancestors needed to survive became breeding grounds for the deadliest predator humanity would ever face. And there's something haunting about that shift. For millions of years, we evolved sharper eyes, faster reflexes, and deep instinctive fears to survive visible predators. But the greatest threat waiting for us on the other side of the evolution wasn't something we could see coming at all. Maybe that's the real lesson hidden in this story. Human survival was never really about strength. It was about detection, about noticing danger just a little faster than the animal or the parasite that wanted us dead. Somewhere between the leopard hidden in the branches and the mosquito hidden in the air, an entire species learned how to stay one step ahead of extinction. And in a strange way, we're still doing it today, just against different predators, hidden in different shadows. If this made you see the natural world a little differently, subscribe for more stories like this one.